and tomorrow's all the same, and it's sad to be alone.
After losing Kris Kristofferson, his wife has stayed silent for a long time. But now, for the very first time, she's speaking out, and what she's revealing will leave you speechless. Before we dive into this emotional story, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the latest updates about your favorite stars. Kris Kristofferson wasn't just a country music legend or a movie star. He was a man who lived life on his own terms, even when it cost him everything. Picture a kid growing up in a strict military family, moving from place to place because his dad was a major general in the Air Force. They finally landed in San Mateo, California, where young Kris found his spark. He wasn't the biggest or fastest kid, but he threw himself into sports, football, long-distance running, even boxing as a Golden Gloves champ. His heart was always in it, giving everything he had, no matter the odds. His college football coach once said, "Kris played because he willed himself to, not because he was built for it." That grit, it defined him. But sports weren't his only love. Kris had a gift for words, too. In college at Pomona, he won a short story contest with a big magazine called Atlantic Monthly. His professors saw something special in him and pushed him to aim high. They encouraged him to apply for a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford University. At first, Kris bombed the interviews and almost gave up, but one professor, Dr. Frederick Sag, wouldn't let him quit. "Try again," he said. So Kris did, and it paid off. He got the scholarship and headed to Oxford, where he studied English literature, boxed, played rugby, and even earned the school's top athletic honor, called the Blue. Can you imagine juggling all that? Kris wasn't just smart or tough. He was unstoppable. After Oxford, Kris's life took a sharp turn. He got married to his first love, Fran Beer, started a family, and joined the army to support them. Following in his dad's footsteps, he became a helicopter pilot, went through the intense Ranger School, and served in West Germany. But even in uniform, music was calling him. He started a band while stationed overseas, writing songs that came straight from his soul. The army offered him a dream job, teaching English at West Point, but then Kris took a trip to Nashville. That trip changed everything. Surrounded by the pulse of country music, he said no to West Point and yes to his dreams. It was a bold move, and it came with a price. Kris moved his family to Nashville, taking a low-paying job as a janitor at Columbia Records. He was cleaning ashtrays and running errands just to be near the music he loved. His parents were furious. His mum even called him an embarrassment and cut him off. For Kris, though, it felt like freedom. With nothing to lose, he poured everything into his music. But life wasn't easy. His son, Kris Jr., was born with health problems, piling medical bills on top of an already tight budget. The stress was too much for his marriage, and by 1969, he and Fran divorced. Kris was alone, broke, and still chasing a dream that seemed out of reach. One day, while sweeping floors at the studio, Kris got a chance to hand a demo tape to June Carter Cash, hoping she'd pass it to her husband, Johnny Cash. Now, Johnny wasn't exactly known for listening to every tape he got. Some say he'd toss them out his window into the lake behind his house. Kris wasn't getting anywhere, so he did something wild. He was working as a helicopter pilot in Louisiana at the time, and one day he flew a chopper right to Johnny Cash's front lawn and landed it. The story got a little exaggerated over time. Some say Kris stepped out with a beer in one hand and a tape in the other. Kris laughed that off, saying he wasn't drinking while flying, but he let the legend live on. Johnny wasn't even home that day, but the stunt made waves. Soon after, Johnny recorded Kris's song, Sunday Morning Coming Down. It shot to #1 and won Song of the Year at the CMA Awards. Just like that, Kris Kristofferson's career took off. The 1970s were a whirlwind for Kris. His first album dropped in 1970, and Hollywood came knocking. He landed a small role in a quirky film called The Last Movie in 1971, playing a minstrel wrangler with just one line. It wasn't much, but it was a start. That same year, he got a bigger part in Cisco Pike, alongside stars like Gene Hackman. Suddenly, the scruffy songwriter was a movie star. Then love came back into his life. On a flight from LA to Memphis, Kris met singer Rita Coolidge. They hit it off instantly, talking the whole flight and even picking out a name for a future kid by the end of the night. Kris ditched his Nashville plans to stay with Rita, and in 1973, they got married. Their love wasn't just romantic. They made music together too, winning Grammys as a duo. Kris also starred in big films like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, with Bob Dylan, and Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore with Ellen Burstyn. By 1976, he was sharing the screen with Barbra Streisand in A Star Is Born, a role that won him a Golden Globe. Fun fact, Elvis Presley was supposed to play that part, but his manager's crazy demands pushed him out, and Kris stepped in. But fame wasn't all glitz. Kris's drinking started to strain his marriage with Rita. Even after he got sober, Rita struggled with the change. She'd fallen for the wild Kris, and the sober version felt like a stranger. Their careers pulled them apart too. Kris was acting, Rita was touring. By 1979, they divorced. Rita later said there were other women on the road, and the emotional toll left her in tears almost every day. Still, she never painted Kris as the bad guy. They stayed connected through their daughter Casey, and a bond that never fully broke. Then came Heaven's Gate in 1980, a movie that was supposed to be huge but turned into a disaster. It cost a fortune, some say up to $44 million, but only made $3.5 million at the box office. Critics hated it, and the studio nearly went bankrupt. For Kris, it was a blow. He'd been the golden boy, but now Hollywood saw him as a risk. He later said the failure threw him off track for years. Love found Kris again in 1982 at a gym in Malibu. He was a single dad, fresh off his divorce from Rita, when he spotted Lisa Myers, a young law student. He asked to borrow some gym equipment, but really, he just wanted to talk to her. Kris was honest from the start. He told Lisa his life was all about raising his daughter and didn't have much room for romance. But Lisa wasn't scared off. They started running together, and soon their connection grew. In 1983, they married in a quiet chapel at Pepperdine University, Lisa's alma mater. Their love story blossomed into a big, blended family with 5 kids of their own: Jesse, Jody, Johnny, Blake, and Kelly Marie, plus Kris's 3 kids from before. Lisa became the rock Kris needed, grounding him through the chaos of fame. In 1984, Kris joined forces with Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Willie Nelson to form the Highwaymen, a country music supergroup. It started with a Christmas TV special in Switzerland, where the 4 legends jammed together after filming. They clicked, and soon they were recording as a group. Their song Highwayman hit #1 and won a Grammy in 1985. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. The group bickered like brothers, sometimes over set lists, sometimes over politics. Kris started speaking out at concerts. which bugged Waylon, who thought shows should be about music, not messages. Still, their respect for each other held them together. They toured for a decade, released 3 albums, and even starred in a film called Stagecoach. Kris called those years some of the best of his life, going from cleaning ashtrays to sharing the stage with his heroes. When Kris hit his 70s, health problems started piling up. Doctors thought he had fibromyalgia, then Alzheimer's, as he struggled with pain, memory loss, and confusion. He even wrote a haunting song about it, feeling like he was fading away. But in 2016, Lisa pushed for more tests, and they found the real culprit: Lyme disease, likely from a tick bite while filming a movie. It had been mimicking Alzheimer's for years. With the right treatment, Kris came back to life. His friend Chris Gantry said it was like watching Lazarus rise from the grave. The fog lifted, and Kris was himself again. By 84, Kris was ready to step back. He didn't want a big farewell tour or a flashy goodbye. He just quietly retired, slipping away from the spotlight. His manager, Tamara Saviano, said it wasn't even a planned thing. It just happened during the pandemic. Kris moved to his home in Maui, where he found peace mowing his lawn and spending time with Lisa and their family. He even put his California ranch up for sale to make things easier for his kids down the road. In 2023, he made a surprise appearance at Willie Nelson's 90th birthday concert, singing a duet with Rosanne Cash that left the crowd in tears. On September 28, 2024, Kris passed away at 88 in his Maui home. Tributes poured in, including from Rita Coolidge, who shared a heartfelt post about their time together, and their daughter Casey, who's now a musician herself. Barbra Streisand remembered their duet in A Star Is Born, and how Kris lit up the stage at her 2019 concert. But it was Kris Kristofferson who held the deepest truth about Kris. She's now sharing stories from his private journal, where he wrote about his loves, regrets, and wild adventures. Those pages hold the heart of a man who lived many lives: soldier, poet, star, father. Kris once said he wanted his tombstone to reflect a life of honesty, love, and laughter. That's the legacy he left, carried on by Lisa, their kids, and the music that will echo forever. Thanks so much for watching this story about Kris Kristofferson's incredible life. If you loved hearing about his journey, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a story like this. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about Kris's music or movies. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and loving deeply just like Kris did.